In a concrete bunker, somewhere under the skin of Terra Brea, machinery flares to life. We see a laboratory of sorts, lightly staffed. 2 clusterists in lab coats rush between terminals, discussing various readouts and reports. They're panicked and look farther into the lab, at a large tube of liquid in the center of the room. Suspended in that tube, a vaguely humanoid shape, its warped shadow is dimly lit by the overhead lights of the facility. The scientists seem to be pleading with it, though their voice is muffled by a droning hum. The room seems to tilt and refract against itself, a distortion centered on this tube. The hum gets louder, and we can barely make out some of their words. Stop. Not ready. Exertion. Patience. Damage. The hum reaches its crescendo, a painful vibrato that makes the scientists cover their ears and wince. Then all of a sudden, clarity, a silence, and a single hateful voice. He's alive. I can feel him. He's far. He's weak. I can reach him. I can hurt him. I can hurt him again. Okay, so, brief recap. Your mission was to steal some corporate data from this refinery and then assist the leaders of that refinery with dealing with some nearby eco-terrorists. Unfortunately, things did not pan out as planned. Just after you got the data you needed, the refinery was attacked, but not just by some environmentalists with firebombs, but by a clusterist squad, the Hyenas. You were caught off guard, but managed to fight them off, but not without taking some serious damage. Everyone with the exception of Loyal is hurt, and Geist has pushed himself past his breaking point, severely wounded and just barely hanging on. Control has decided to exfil you, and you've been picked up by your pilot, Worthy. And after Worthy picked you and your frames up into the air, Geist experienced some what we called haze psychosis. His ears rang, he heard some phantom alarms, his gaze was swimming, and as this happened, he was overcome with a certainty that his rival, Retribution, who's the one who put him in his coma and ruined his life, was here. So to set the scene, you're in the air with your frames in the big cargo bay of Worthy's ship. Geist, I don't know where you are. Maybe you're propped up against a wall, or one of your teammates is like looking over your wounds.
Yeah, I like the idea of him being like slumped like in the corner with like one hand over his torso, and he's like leaking hydraulic fluid and blood, and he's a real fucking mess.
What does it look like when you are overcome with this feeling that he is here?
I mean, so it's probably like he's really like tense, like his hands are like gripping really tightly and his eyes are kind of spinning in their sockets. I guess he doesn't really have teeth left to grip, but it's almost like minor spasms. And I guess probably in this specific case, it's likely a little bit difficult to tell if it's because he is physically injured, but he does seem to be going through something mentally. And he kind of like struggles and like, he coughs, but like because he doesn't really like he doesn't have like a normal mouth anymore. It's kind of just like a weird like staccato wheeze as his lungs like push air, but he's like trying to kind of sit up, and it's causing his leaks to leak worse. He's like, put me back in, and he's probably gonna start trying to crawl to wherever he can get into his frame.
Sure. Loyal, you get a very strange feeling. It's like there are pockets of water in the ship where your sensors and sonar are warped. You're uniquely aware of this because you know how sonar travels through water, but it's like in the air, these big bubbles, that invisible bubbles, but like sonar sensors just are like getting warped by them, and they're like moving together. They're coalescing in the center of the ship.
Does it seem like the ship is flying through them, or are they just appearing at a central point that's moving with the ship?
It's moving with the ship.
I'm still in my frame right now, I assume.
If you want to be.
Yeah, I assume we like just got up in here, so I open up my comms and I say, companions, I am detecting some strange anomalies within the ship. There seems to be an energy, something forming. I don't know what it is, but be prepared.
He's here. He's fucking...
Who's here?
Crawling along the floor.
Someone, do we have any medical aid in this ship?
You don't get anything more coherent out of Geist. He is... I don't know. Is he close enough? Is it up to me to decide how close is he to where... Like, are the frames here, like, in a place where they could be accessed from the interior of the ship?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think you're like climbing up I don't know if anyone's helping you. If everyone's just staring at this guy, like drags his bloody body across the ground.
He's like leaving.
Maybe
Like,
Joseph will go up and try to stop him from crawling to the mech.
he tries to fight you off, but I mean, he can't. He's not physically well enough to like really put up a fight.
Hex goes and helps. We're holding you back.
Yeah.
He looks back at you all, and he's like, "Either help me or fucking kill me." And he tries to probably weakly strike at whoever's holding him back on his left side with his right hand.
Are we going to see a roll for that?
I would call for a roll. Actually, give me a fortune roll. This won't put you out if you fail it.
Yeah, I was going to say, guys, don't make me roll. I only get one, and I need to use it when I'm in my ship.
Well, you wasted on a punch.
I wasted killing my teammates and then immediately pass out.
Nice.
Just how many dice? Just one?
Yeah, this is one die. I just want to see how that goes. Oh yeah,
Oh, you're
it's
rolling.
pathetic. That's a 1.
Is this bubble forming near us? Like, can I put my shields up and like kind of stand defensively around my friends who are trying to fucking get Geist someplace safe?
Yeah, sure. As everyone else is, I Geist, you try to punch Mirage, and he's made of metal.
I'm going to grab his wrist as it comes up and just kind of put it back down. And say, you're not yourself right now, Geist.
He's here. Get in your fucking frames or you're all going to die.
And I turn to Hex and look at him.
With that last little enunciation, yeah, you are all interrupted. In like a split second, those bubbles you're seeing, Loyal, they're pretty close to finishing coalescing. The sound of the engines, these like loud roaring engines, become muffled, inaudible. Then there is this ear-splitting, oscillating crack. Pulse of energy emits from the center of the hangar. All the lights go out, and your cockpits flicker and blink momentarily for those of you in it. If you have like a heads-up display, it does the same thing. It displays the warning, unknown haze signature. Perhaps even more concerningly, you hear the engines slowing and feel the aircraft beginning to lose altitude. And I am going to reveal 2 clocks to you.
Not 2.
What time is it?
God damn it.
Okay, there's 2 clocks. One is engine repair, and the other is crash landing. Yeah, they are pretty obvious what these mean. But, everyone takes the level 1 damage to your frames. Hazed out. You can resist this or use armor as normal.
What do we resist hazed out with?
Acuity is what it would be.
Okay.
So to resist this, you would lose quirks equal to 4 minus the amount of dots you have in that column.
Okay, let's do some acuity. Just straight acuity?
Yeah, so you don't roll anything, but if you have any confusions about how that works, let me know.
Yeah, I want to use specific quirk for this. Should I describe me using the quirk?
You don't use one quirk, you use a number of quirks to resist.
Yeah, it's like resisting it's like resisting a normal consequence, right? Like you
you don't roll with mechs. What you do is you take 4 minus your attribute rating in that category. So I'm looking at Harold's sheet right now, and Harold in acuity has manipulate and scan, like at any level. So that means his acuity is 2, so to resist, he would take 2 quirks off.
Alright.
But if you have armor, since this is a level 1 damage, I would recommend using the armor, because resisting in your frames is expensive.
Armor.
Yeah. So just mark that you've used armor on your sheet.
Oh, I see it.
Can I use the new mechanic we discovered and junk a piece of gear, or is that not?
Yeah,
does that not make sense?
Absolutely. What are you junking?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna junk my. I like all of these things. Oh, you know what? It's gotta be the boosted reactor, unfortunately. Oh no, I'm gonna.
No!
Fine shield or force field.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. So you notice as you're trying to get into your frame, your force field like completely fizzles out, and you hear it like spark, and a little thing pops on your frame, and you will have to repair that at a later date. So now that you've all kind of become aware that something's going on, the emergency lights come on, bathing the hangar in red, and you see that there is something here now in the middle of the cargo hold. A frame that is very strange looking. It's indistinct. It's almost fluid, halfway between here and somewhere else. The design is advanced, far past anything the Soul Union, and even farther past the Clusterist's production capabilities. It's like light filtered through water. Even its weapons seem to shift and change as you look at them. One moment, this twisted blade of energy, another moment, a cannon of alien design. It's like it's out of a dream. For Geist, it's almost like it's specifically out of your nightmares about him.
It does look the same as when I saw it last. Like, is this the frame that he fucked my shit up in all those years ago?
Nope, but it does look like it looks like in your nightmares.
Oh,
You know how
really bad.
how dreams have that like fluid weird thing where like 1 second he's killing your girlfriend with a sword, another second it's a giant gun, you know.
Yeah.
Very fluid.
Relatable.
You're having sex with them. It's all those things.
Joseph.
What, just me? Where's the Discord soundboard? I need Badum Tish.
Okay, what do you guys do? I guess Loyal, you're up front and you see this thing in front of you.
Is it real? Is it made of water? Like, what do I know about this?
You know fuck all, but you can roll.
Roll to know.
You could roll a survey, you could roll a study even. A scan would be perfect.
Yeah, I want to roll a scan because Loyal is looking at this and being like, this isn't real. Something fucky is going on here, and I'm going to try to do something about it.
Oh yeah, you're all in desperate position, by the way. If that wasn't clear from the narration.
Didn't roll
AKA
desperate.
free XP mode.
Should I roll again? I didn't roll desperate.
God, yeah, that's a 1. You didn't want to push yourself or anything?
Oh, I should have.
I would recommend pushing yourself. I'm a fan of the players.
Okay,
So
fine.
we're gonna
wipe that from the record.
So we're gonna keep the 2. But if you want to push yourself, you can roll another die. If you want to get aided, you can get another die. So you can,
Yeah, let's see. How would someone aid me doing this? It would help if I could get a scan from like someone else who's also in their mech from another angle on this watery phenomena.
Yo, Hex would scan. Just saying.
so what does that look like, Hex? I mean, you're outside your frame, right? Do you like?
Yeah.
Do you have a remote control?
He abandons Geist, or well, am I
Yeah,
close
I mean-
enough to get to it in time?
I was
Yeah,
going
I
to say,
think
I
so.
could bring Geist to his frame if you want to go do that. That's what I was
Geist
going
can
to
get him. Geist is already at his. I think Geist can get it if you just let go of him.
Oh, is he
It
that
won't be
close?
pretty, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe Colin wants to contradict me on that, but I think he was like almost there when
No,
you started.
you're
pulling his
pretty much
leg.
there.
Okay.
All right. Hex runs to get in the robot.
Cool. So
Alright.
what's my modifier on this, and how much stress do I take from being aided?
You don't take any stress, but Harold takes 1 stress.
God, this is stressful.
Do I have a dice modifier? Or am I just rolling?
You
a
can roll
desperate
2 more D.
standard?
So you can just roll 2d6 straight up, and I'll add that to your previous roll.
Thanks, GM.
2 and a 2. Wow.
What'd you do to us? What'd you do to us?
Oh, that's all 3 twos. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you scanning it with? Sonar? More electronic measures?
Oh no.
I'm using my built-in frame sonar.
Yeah, you scan this thing, and the information that it feeds back to you is like overwhelming in what it's trying to tell you. I don't want to like go like Eldritch Horror with this quite yet, but it is in not just 2 places simultaneously. It is as if it is in like everywhere all at once. It is like skimming along possibilities. It's like technology beyond what you could even fathom.
Okay.
Especially in a situation like this. And your desperate consequence is that you're going to take the level 3 damage destroyed as it puts a humongous, like a trident almost, of this liquid energy through the center of your frame, impaling it to the wall.
Let's resist that.
Sure. How do you want to resist it?
Okay. How much armor do I have left? How many
and if
ticks
you-
of armor did I need to use last time to resist the haze?
It was just 1.
How many ticks do I need to use?
Sorry, you don't use ticks of armor.
Oh god.
You use, like, 2 ticks of armor is equal to 1 use of armor.
Oh, I see.
You use
So-
all of our when you use it.
I will do that. That seems simple enough.
Which would mean that your mech will be very armor focused, which I think is fitting for your mech.
It is. It is.
And that will take it down to level 2 of
Except
impaled, I guess. So put in the damage area, put impaled,
done.
which means you'll take -1d to all future rolls. that are applicable.
Thanks.
Who
Yeah,
wants
it's
to?
not going great.
Who wants to go for something next?
I think
know
I'm the last
exactly
one. Or
what
no, wait,
Geist
it's
is
you
going
two.
to do,
Yeah.
but I don't think. I think because Geist is, even though he was closest to his mech, I think it makes most sense for him to go last.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't one of the clocks fix or repair the ship or something?
That's correct.
Yeah, I was hoping to work on engine repair. I imagine I would go help Worthy try to keep this thing airborne.
Yeah, just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, to you, it sounds like the issue is coming from the engines themselves, which would involve climbing up onto the roof of the ship.
You
Which
know,
you could do.
I have a 2 in maneuver, so...
You could. You want to do it in your frame?
Oh yeah, there's a vehicle actions. I have a 2 in prowl, but I still am not prowling up onto the top of the ship.
You can do either. It's up to you.
Both of them would make sense for you?
They both make sense because you're a small mech, so I would accept that you can slip through things. I mean, once you
Okay.
get to the actual repairing, you'll probably need to get out.
Yeah. I would
but-
like to go not in my mech. I feel like once I do, then the other mech is just going to be trained on me. So I'm going to be all sneaky, like an infiltrator, and prowl to the top.
Sure. I will give you that. It's going to be a risky position. I'm not going to give you desperate because you are small, you're sneaky, and you have optical camo already checked off as well. Dare I say, I would give you controlled position because you have everything going for you, and Retribution is currently distracted by the bigger threats.
Killing your friend.
Wonderful.
So,
So position controlled.
yeah, do you want to push yourself?
I'm in a controlled position, which is nice. So
It is nice. So
maybe I don't need to push myself at this moment.
sure. And do you have any damage on you? Harm. No. you're good.
Harm?
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm
Roll
going to
it.
roll.
Roll me that prowl.
Cool.
Oh.
That's a 2.
So you head for a little access hatch, and this like swirling liquid energy, you quickly realize it's everywhere. It's like you don't even know if he is aware that it is everywhere, because it doesn't even seem that controlled. It seems almost to have it's like lashing out wildly, like knocking over cargo crates and stuff. So I'm going to say you can try again if you'd like, but it'll be risky now.
Could I try again and push myself?
Yes, you could.
Let's do that.
So you're going to take 2 more stress, and then you'll roll an extra die.
Rolling prowl modifier, is it +1 for 1 extra die?
Yep, that's correct.
Except now we're in position risky.
That's correct.
Roll.
Partial success.
Yay.
Let's go.
Yeah, you run through this weird energy stuff, and you manage to get through, but right as you're getting through, you get hit by, I would almost call it nausea, like robot nausea. I don't know what that's like for you.
Robaja.
Slow robaja. Slow processes.
Yeah, and it's like you can feel the electrical signals, which are your brain. There are some parts where the signals aren't making it where they need to go. So sometimes you like think you told your arm to move, but it just doesn't move. So you will get there. You get through the access hatch and pop out onto the roof, and you see that the engines are smoking and shit. But you take the level 1 harm. Processor slowdown.
Processors.
Damn, we're getting fucked.
Already.
And you can, if you'd like, perfect opportunity because we didn't use it last time, you could expend your spark to resist the consequences for that for free.
Using the shadow ability?
Using your shadow ability.
I see it on my
yeah.
player sheet right here. You want to tell me what a spark is?
So your spark is like a special one-use currency that you get once per session.
It's like luck, kind of.
It's kind of like luck, and you'll see it to the right of your stress. There's armor, heavy, and spark, and
Gotcha.
you can just check off spark, and you say, "Hey, I dodged it. You used your sick shadow stuff to dodge underneath the little liquid laser beams and do a sick slide."
I'm doing. Does that reduce then? I don't get the harm.
Yep, it goes to 0
Wonderful.
because it was only level 1.
Damn.
Okay, who wants to go next? Hex?
Yeah. I mean,
Geist?
Hex is looking around and shit's looking real bad. But Geist is probably going to be the first to leap. Hex is taking it all in.
Taking it all in.
Guys, did you want to go first, or did you want to?
I would like Hex to help me.
Yeah, Hex is... Well, my move I was going to do with Hex was just fire a volley of missiles, so
Sure. Do you want to give me a hand?
Let's do it.
What are you doing,
Okay.
Geist?
Geist is going to... He's going to go all out just this once. Since, well, actually, he does this every
Just
time he
this
tries to kill
once.
someone. But I have a question, actually. Has my boosted reactor refilled?
Didn't you junk it?
Okay, you know what? Let me read the thing, actually. Spend for improved effect when speed or agility is required. This refills at the start of each mission. Okay, so the gas tank is still empty.
Damn.
If I were to... I think I'm allowed to ask this, right? If I were to attack him, what would my effect be? I have no damage.
Do you have no damage, so then I would think it would be standard effect.
Okay. Yeah, I think what I am going to do... See, this is the problem. My machine gun is a fine machine gun, which means it's a better way of attacking somebody, but it's much more cinematic, too, as my final action, just like fucking kamikaze rush at him and try and put my robot arm through his face. So I think I gotta do the exciting thing.
Yeah, unless you like pushed yourself for greater effect, you'd get standard with either, I would say.
Okay, cool. And
cool.
you can't push yourself and get a collateral die, right? You can only do one or the other.
You can, yes. You can still get aid, though.
Yes, I can still get aid.
Do you want a collateral die?
I think... See, here's the thing. I'm going to... Am I allowed to ask what the collateral die does?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, sure. What do you got for collateral?
I'm gonna... If you want the collateral die, I'm going to tick crash landing again, which will bring it up to 2 ticks.
Oh my god, let me look at how many ticks
Out of 6.
it has. 6. Oh, it's not great. Oh, but engine repair is only 4. Yeah, I'll take it.
All right.
I will take it at the expense of everybody else. So I am going to take my collateral die, because I think I'm going to need my quirks to avoid my robot blowing up, even though I think I'm still about to die anyways. So what Geist is going to do is he is going to basically, as soon as everybody let go of him, like when this whole kerfuffle started and people stopped holding his legs, he immediately kept lifting himself up into the cockpit of the changeling, and he kind of flops over into it with a sound like somebody dropping a bag of steaks on a steel countertop, just like splatters back in. But as soon as he does, his hands start moving and the interface comes to life. And so basically what he's doing is just pointing the changeling at Retribution, and he's putting the throttle all the way full, and he's just going to try and fucking fly right into him and punch him as hard as he can. And I would like aid just to be like, if Hex can just like distract him for a second, just basically by like attacking him to like catch his attention so he maybe doesn't see it coming before it slams into him.
Yeah. Hex does a little distraction.
Take 1 stress, Hex.
Man, Hex leads a really stressful life.
We all have stressful lives right now, okay?
Just a bit.
I have level 3 harm.
Damn.
So yeah, Geist is there. He's in the cockpit of his mech. He's screaming. He's bleeding really badly. He's probably about to pass out. As much from the haze psychosis as anything. Yes, I maxed out my stress last time. So I have this. So this is, I assume, a battle or a maneuver. It's kind of both, but I have them at the same level. So for the time being, the distinction, I don't.
That's for battle. I like battle.
Sure, let's battle. This is my supercharged Falcon Punch, 3 dice. Please work. Okay, I know. By the way, yeah. I'm sorry. Can you use the collateral die for extra effect, or is it only an extra die on the roll, or does it do the same things that pushing yourself does?
I don't know. Let's say you can do either or.
Okay, cool. I'm using my collateral die for increased effect rather than an extra dice because I'm living life on the edge, and if I only get a partial, I want it to count a little bit more.
Fingers crossed for you.
Fingers crossed for you, my friend.
You got this.
Here we go.
Green.
Ooh, baby.
That's
1
a 6!
3 and a 6.
Yeah!
Holy crap.
Oh my god. We're still in it.
Thank God. I had my toes crossed. I literally had my toes crossed. That was what did it.
Oh man, the secret.
That feels good.
You're using your fists, right?
Yeah. They're like I think I said they're like impact drivers, so it's like it's almost like the stake driver from Bloodborne. They like can jackhammer back and forth at like point of contact for like extra damaging impact. So he's basically like trying to fly and punch through him as he moves as fast as he possibly can through the ship bay.
Yeah, sure. You jet with speed that probably even surprises yourself. Like the changeling almost takes over a little bit. Whether you just like hit full throttle, go forward, don't give a fuck what happens. And you punch through Retribution. It's like punching. You ever see those like videos of like the cornstarch and water, where it's like that weird non-Newtonian fluid?
Yeah.
It's like punching that. It like bends inward and it pops out the back, and you see this like that like liquid energy or whatever it is, liquid reality, just like spurt out the back and like get splattered into the back of the hangar, doing 3 ticks to the Retribution clock, which means
that's great effect. I mean, as he bursts through, Geist like, remember me, you son of a bitch. He's like barely coherent. If he still had a normal mouth, he would be like blasting spit all over the inside of his flight helmet.
Okay, yeah, that's fuck yeah. But yeah, you punch through him and you see that he starts to reform around your arm, which is weird. And he's like groaning. Like
groaning how?
Like an inhuman groan. It's like the noise suppression will probably take it out, but it's like. Do you get that?
We heard that.
We got that.
Okay, great. That's great. That's what it's like.
Let me tell you, it was inhuman.
Hex, do you want to do anything?
Hex just saw this, and now that he sees the reforming, he's gonna keep a distance. But missiles probably aren't good here.
Go help one of those blocks if you can. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? He's gonna go in for a hit with his little baton.
Okay, buddy.
We did start to groan, so maybe we're doing something.
Do you want
Yeah.
to... I mean, I assume this is going to be a battle.
Yes.
Do you want to push yourself?
Yeah. Why
or get a
not?
collateral die?
Let's push ourselves. Why not? We're all in it. Yep. Let's do military workhorse because this is gonna hurt.
I reread the rules recently. Once you guys check off all your quirks, you are in breakdown mode.
Yes.
Which means taking any other actions with your mech will do damage to it, unless you just get out of your mech.
Okay.
Just so you know. Okay, so you're going to get +1 die to this roll. Your position is Desperate Standard.
Oh yeah, I gotta take that XP.
All right. Risky Standard +1.
1,
Just so
3.
you
Oh no.
No! Hey,
Okay.
guys.
I think he grabs the stake driver out of his chest, and like a doll turns you around and punches it into X.
Damn.
What the fuck kind of Looney Tunes magic does this man have? Oh, that's probably bad.
So, 2 things. One is you're going to take the level 2 harm punched. Cracking. Level 2 damage, sorry. And your rack of missiles or rockets is junked. He positions it in such a way that it crushes your missiles.
No.
So, fun little consequence. I put a J in the slot, so you just remember you can't use those anymore. And now we're back at the top again. You guys have been kind of split up a little bit. There's 3 of you facing off with Retribution. I like the frowny face you put on the sheet, Brian.
Yeah, I was like, I need something better than a J, all right?
No missiles.
Worthy's voice comes over the comms, like extremely fuzzy, even at this distance. The haze is just so dense, and he says, I'm barely holding her together up here. I really need one of you to get on top of this thing and restart the engines. Electrical is fucked. I can walk you. And then it cuts out.
Can I respond?
Sure, you can try.
Yeah, I try to go over the comms and let him know, Worthy, I'm on top right now, fixing the engines. If you can hear me, I'm going to get it covered. You just keep us up. I suppose he doesn't respond.
Yeah, you're not sure if you hear some feedback coming back through. It's like, Joseph, let's look at you for a second. You're
Sure.
on top. You're scrambling towards the engines. They're smoking really badly. You can see you are no longer above the clouds, I would say. You can kind of see the ground like running by you, beneath you.
Holy shit.
So do you have like a repair skill, I guess is my question.
Remember when I didn't take engineer and I got interface instead? That's the place we're at right now.
Interface with the ship while it's going down.
Can I interface?
Yeah, I'll give you less effect, but I think I can see the argument for interface. You know,
I using my fingers, getting all up into this engine, doing.
Yeah,
what
you're
You
going
can also
like
push yourself for if you wanted to have the better effect. You could, if you have any stress to spare, you push yourself.
you have some
I
stress.
could. I could interface with a push myself. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, and I'm imagining like you slide up to the engine, you find a little diagnostic port, and you plug something into it, and you're like, "Talk to me, girl."
Exact words. How you doing, old girl? You stay up, all right? We're gonna get through this. All right. So prowl +1. Is this risky?
This is gonna be interface +1.
Oh yeah, good. Blah, 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 blah. You're right.
But yeah, this is risky, and remember to take 2 stress once you roll it.
Yes. +1 risky.
That's a 6.
Whoa.
It's a 6 as fuck. So this
Big
Colin,
money!
what does the ship say back to me?
hurt, bad, hurt, bad. Restart engine manually.
I muted. I'm
No,
muted.
no.
I don't need this.
You gotta help me, baby.
Shut up.
And you find that it tells you to basically restart the engine manually. It like things in the future are pretty smart. Most like vessels have onboard AIs, and it basically like sends you the documentation where it's like, please pull the manually restart lever. I'm dying. Which I think this is unusual for onboard AI. Worthy may have made some modifications to make it more personable.
Worthy would. From what I know about him,
Yeehaw,
yes.
I'm dying, partner.
Just was gonna look past that.
So all you need to do, you pull it down and one engine's back up, so you stop losing altitude so rapidly. But what you have to do now is you have to get to the other side of the ship before time runs out.
Gotcha.
I will check your crash landing one more time. Okay, back inside. Loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've kind of been impaled a little bit.
So the dolphin brain is equipped to handle information at a much higher speed and volume than the human brain, and yet this is the most sensory experience that Loyal has ever been subjected to in his life, and it is extremely unpleasant. Imagine like the worst psychedelic trip a person could be on in their life while being impaled by a weird watery trident at the same time. So Loyal does a couple things. He still is like convinced this is some kind of weird illusion, and he has an idea about how to break it, but he's not sure if this will work or not. But the first thing he does is he just turns off all the sonar receiving like stuff in his exopod and in his frame, so that he's like no longer receiving that video or visual audio input in his brain, in his like biosonar. And I want him to just like start revving up his drill. That starts revving up, and I want him to push himself by spending his intermittent optical camo quirk to go invisible and just like get his frame inside of the anomalous water energy that is Retribution right now. And then at the same time that this drill is going, just like pump as much like sound, high-pitched noise at different frequencies as possible into this drill, like into his mech. It's whatever produces sound on the mech at a time is just going to be going full blast, but only when he's inside of this water bubble shaped like an enemy, so it doesn't like deafen his friends.
Sure.
As an attempt to destabilize it.
That's a battle if I've ever heard one.
It sure is. Good thing you made me take 1 point in battle.
Yep. I'm helpful like that.
That was a badass description for a 1-point battle. I will say.
Well, doesn't exhausting the quirk, doesn't that count as a pushing of yourself?
Yeah, you get plus 1d.
Which means that I have still just 0d because I already have minus 1d.
Oh, yeah, so that puts you at 1 total.
But
Yeah,
we're still in desperate standard, right?
You're in desperate standard. That's correct.
All right. Oh,
We could aid you.
yeah, does anybody want to aid me
I
by
cannot.
making sure this
We're-
thing doesn't move while I do this? I need another
We're
distraction.
kind of. Can Hex aid?
Yeah, do you have any stress left?
Hex is at 5 stress left. Before things get a little
tons.
hairy. Yeah,
Oh.
Hex is.
You could also aid me by navigating me to this because I'm using I imagine that even Sunless eyes are closed at this point. He's just doing it blind. He cannot see or hear at all because he's so overstimulated.
No, I imagine Hex sees what's going on and tosses Geist off him gently, of course, and runs over to go hold him down and help you out.
Okay, does that give me another die?
Gives you another die. Hex mark 1 stress.
All right, everybody cross your toes.
We're going drinking after this.
Crossing.
Oh, the worst outcome!
That's
No!
2 2s.
Again! The curse of the
Uh,
twos
You're
endures.
killing me here.
2 things happen. So first thing is that
Bye-bye.
Loyal, you move up into this, and the drill stops. It's dead in its tracks. It's going so fast and it stops. It's impossible for that much inertia to just stop, but it does. And your whole frame just pauses. It just stops responding to you as if it's paralyzed. And this big hand, this clawed hand, just forms out of this liquid reality and just moves slowly, just inching towards your frame. And a single finger comes out and just starts pushing through the front of your cockpit right towards you. And Hex, you go to tackle Retribution to hold him down, and all of a sudden he's just not there. And he's gone. It's thin air missing. And Loyal, a little light comes on in your cockpit, and there's someone in front of you. This liquid form, missing most of his limbs. There are these phantom limbs coming off of him. And he's just walking up to you. And I think you try to move yourself, but you realize that you are moving so slow. Your brain functions even are struggling to keep up with him. He's a blur, just walking towards you. He grabs you by the head, and he says, "Time's up." And he crushes your skull in his hands. And you're gonna take the level 4 harm dead.
Oh no!
I think I might like to resist that.
Okay, you're gonna resist with stress.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna stress me, trauma me out.
Dolphin trauma.
Dolphin trauma.
Trauma this early in the game. Wow. Okay.
I just got my second one last session,
you
all right?
started with one. Okay.
So don't talk to me about trauma.
You're such a drama queen.
Trump Olympics over here.
No, it's good. I like it. So how much stress do I take? Do I just take it all and
So
reset
what
it?
you're gonna do is you're gonna want to click the prowess button. As this is prowess, you're gonna click that, and that's going to determine how much stress you take. You might not stress out. It's possible you won't. Oh no, you stressed out. You rolled a 4, and you had 2 stress left. So mark that last 2 stress. I'm going to reduce that harm down to a level 2 because I'm nice like that. You're going to take the harm fractured skull, fractured melon, if you will, for the dolphin.
My noggin.
No, my melon.
Your poor melon.
Fractured melon.
My
Did Hex have any idea this just happened?
No, it's just that he vanished.
Not even a crunch or anything?
I guess it would depend how loud. You know what? I think he does, actually.
Is the headset on?
I think, because this is Retribution, I think what he does is that all of a sudden a video feed of the inside of Loyal's cockpit comes up. And you just see it happen.
Damn.
Makes
Yeah.
you watch.
He's stressed.
I've just lost an entire organ and sense of my senses.
Yeah, and after that happens, Retribution bursts out the back of Loyal's frame, reforms in the air. and he seems like the liquid reality is like it's jittering. Parts of it are like hardening and falling to the ground in these like chunks of like metal slag that are jagged. Who wants to go next? Oh, also, Sunleth, you're out of the game now unless you want to take a dire action.
That gives you level 3 harm automatically, so choose wisely.
I'm not going to take a dire action yet. Can I save it for later?
Yeah.
You can. I think, yeah, it makes sense for Loyal to decide on his next turn, right?
Yeah, I've just been melon crushed. I'm not doing anything anytime soon.
Yeah.
It hurts bad.
I'm seeing like spikes in my brain because like
Holy
sound
fuck.
and visual is pretty much in the same place for a dolphin. So it's like I'm feeling spikes, I'm seeing spikes, I'm hearing spikes, and it's all pain all the way down.
Who wants to go next?
I'm going to declare a directed energy weapon.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if
Like a
the
beam?
missiles were like on his left shoulder, another thing shows up, boring as fuck, of course. But hey, it's glowing. It looks like a Spartan laser.
Yeah.
And
Love that.
Nothing
gonna
boring
fire
about
a
a
laser.
Spartan laser.
No.
Yeah, do it.
Very excited.
That's a battle.
all right.
Still desperate position.
Blast this motherfucker.
All right. Risky?
Oh, it's desperate, baby.
Desperate, baby.
Desperate.
You suffer severe harm.
Oh God, another 2! No!
Why'd you do this? You did this to me, guys.
my
Snake
God.
I put the 2s on everyone but myself.
Yeah, you shoot a laser, and you shoot it into Retribution. But something weird happens is that it bends. It's like refracted, and it goes through the roof of the ship
Oh,
and
no.
Shit.
shears off part of the wing. Joseph, you're up there, and a big laser beam comes cutting through all the hard fucking
I'm
work
sure
you just
my
did.
squad mates are handling this well.
So I'm gonna check crash landing one more time, and that's the first consequence. The second consequence, Harold, is that Retribution is in front of you now, and
Oh,
he
no. He's
picks you up,
pissed.
and he throws you through the back of the transport, knocking the cargo ramp open, and you are in the air. You are falling to the ground.
She loves throwing
Oh.
people.
I hope
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not far above the ground now, guys.
You are exceptionally far above the ground, and the worst part is that you don't have your jump thrusters anymore.
Oh no.
So you can resist this if you'd like. You could.
Yeah, hold on with one hand. It'll be very cinematic.
Yeah, I would
So what are my
recommend.
options?
I would recommend resisting this. This is my
Okay,
big
yeah.
recommendation.
No, no.
Unless you want
Peter,
to
what would you
die.
recommend?
I mean, like, yeah, let's resist.
All right, so this is gonna be an expertise roll, and all you do is check off 2 quirks.
The quirks I'll check off will be bye-bye redundant systems. You served me well.
Redundant
and I'm not an
system
optimist
of
anymore. I'm on fire.
your arm.
All right. And what am I rolling?
Nothing. You just check off 2.
Okay, that's sweet.
So you get to resist getting thrown out of the ship, which
Cool.
would have been basically if you don't resist this, you die. So thank you for resisting. Is that all your quirks, Hex?
Thank you, God. No, I have common parts left.
Okay. Am I missing anyone? Did I do Geist yet?
Geist hasn't gone yet. He's only gone the one time. I have some absolutely terrible news for everybody because I actually am going to check off a new 0-load piece of equipment, which is the
shit.
Reflex Adjustment and Guidance Engine, also known as RAGE. An interface system that, when activated, greatly enhances the pilot's abilities at the cost of their survival instincts for several minutes. This may improve your position and effect in maneuvering. You also suffer the consequences Death Wish and Possibility Hallucinations, which can be resisted as normal, which I
So
can't do.
Geist.
The modified position and effect and any unresisted consequences last until the end of the next scene, which I really don't think is going to be a problem. What I want to do is actually repeat a little trick from my very first operation, and what I want to do is I want to shoot him with my grapple gun and fly out the hole that he just blasted in the roof with him attached to me to get him off the ship.
Sure.
And then I'll probably crash and maybe I'll die. Well, I could
Everyone
also
calls
just
this
attack
sure.
him. But at this point, I think that I just want to fuck him up. I mean,
What
he
if-
flew up here. Maybe that actually is a dumb idea. Here's the problem, because my other option is that I can push myself to attack him, but if I do that, I only have 3 quirks left, so that's 1 quirk to push myself, and then 2 quirks to resist any consequences, and then my mech is breakdown. which is bad, and I don't want to do that. You know what? I can just junk my gear. Fuck it. No, Geist instead. I'm not going to do that. Or maybe
I mean, you only really got one roll left, kind of.
I do. Two. Well, I mean, unless I get another 6.
You got to think about like turns left.
I know, but I can just blow my gear up. It's fine. Can I? Okay, here's a question. I guess the reflex adjustment and guidance engine, this is just for maneuvering, right? So it wouldn't make battle any more effective. So if I use it to like shadow box this motherfucker instead,
I think it would be better that way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to lose my ability to have any sort of self-preservation whatsoever. So what this looks like is that Geist, he punches through him, he gets redirected, and he punches Hex. He doesn't even notice. He goes and like turns himself around as fast as he can, but by the time he's turned around, Retribution is exploding out of the back of Loyal's mech, and Geist is just like not even seeing what happened. As he starts to pivot, he activates the rage system, and he just turns around and he says, "No, you don't!" And I'm going to push myself because I already get the increased effect from the rage system, so I'm going to push myself for an extra die. And I'm going to try battling him one more time.
You have a death wish. I think you want to die right now. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like I think that was clear.
Yeah, even before it was clear. It's never
all of us.
I think like before maybe there was a part of you that was like, I got to stay alive for the mission, you know. But this time it's like, I gotta die.
I gotta die, but
gamers, I gotta die doing something right now.
I gotta die, but I gotta take him with me.
Exactly. I think you have possibility hallucinations. So I think you are seeing kind of like what Loyal saw. You see all the positions of Retribution, like in every direction.
I'm going to try and punch the one that seems the most real. Yeah, so I've got 3 dice. I'm increased to great effect again.
What's the worst that could happen?
Well, Geist could very well die, and in fact, at this point, it might be welcome. He's so fucked up. He's like, this is like his cockpit's flashing red. He's pushed his mech way past its tolerance, and his body. Let's see what happens. Oh my god! Did I get a 6? No, I got a 5. Okay, so the total. I hate how it totals them up instead of showing you them all. So that's a 3, a 5, and a 4. So this is a partial success, but that means that Geist is out of the scene once he deals with whatever horrible consequences are about to happen.
Sure. So you got a partial success with great effect. You get 3 ticks on Retribution Clock, which is very good. And so, what does your attack look like? What were you trying to do?
It's the same thing, but now that the rage system is active, it's a little bit. It's less of like a brute force speed smash through, and there's a little bit more finesse to it because the computer's guiding him. So there's probably like a little like a duck and a juke, and maybe it's like an uppercut or something. He's getting a little fancy with it.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. You go sicko mode, as you once said, and you rush at him. I think you kind of see it coming. He plants his like phantom back foot, and you realize he's gonna take it. He doesn't want to dodge the attack at all. But you put all of yourself into it. You're like, if you're gonna fucking take it, I'm gonna make you work for it, motherfucker. And you punch through him both hands, and you just absolutely annihilate this liquid reality stuff. And these giant chunks of metal are just like dropping off of him onto the ground, alien slag material or whatever it is. And then both your arms are basically through him at this point in different parts. And he grabs each arm in each hand, making that like weird groaning sound again. It's like, and grabs each arm, kicks you. Your frame goes backwards, but your arms stay. You're going to see the level 3 damage. What is it called when you amputation? Double amputation?
Yeah, double amputation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to... Well, I mean, the only thing that makes sense is to junk my melee weapons to resist that. So maybe he just gets the lower arms.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So you get... He rips off both the melee weapons instead. Your arms are still badly scraped up, so you're going to still take that level 2 damage.
Yes.
Like bent arms.
Unhanded.
Unhanded. Disarmed.
Oh my god, you cannot call it disarmed.
But he looks bad. Like, whatever he is or what's going on, it's starting to fade. And we'll jump back to Joseph, my friend Joseph, who's putting in the more work that matters here, I would say.
Wiping my forehead. Just really getting the down dirty of it.
Breaks out a lunchbox, takes a sandwich out. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Hard work
on the
day.
Union mandated, buddy. I'm on break.
Yeah.
You have fixed one of these wings. You have to get over to the other one to fix it. The top of the ship is partially melted now because of the laser beam that got redirected towards you. Do you want to just like make a mad dash for the other one while it...
Yeah, because the right now the clock I'm working on is engine repair, correct?
That's correct. You're one tick left. So as long as you don't
so I need
fail.
Okay, so I need to just basically get the other one, right?
Yeah, and I would accept the prowl because you now know what you have to do. It's just a matter of getting there in time.
Maybe I'm on all fours, going even
Hell
faster
yeah.
than expected, like a cheetah.
I was gonna say like a gorilla, but I
No,
like
that too. I'm
Like a
good
gibbon.
then.
He's going monkey
that would work
mode.
too. Yeah, I would like to prowl, and then could I even push myself again here?
Yeah, if you got the stress, do it.
I only have 3 left, but
It's
you know.
2, I think. So that's pushing it pretty close.
Yeah,
You won't be able to resist.
it's cost 2 to push.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
So then we go there. What happens if you fully get your stress up? You get a scar?
You get you get removed from the mission unless you do some crazy shit like Geist is doing, and then you get a trauma. Which it's not awful to get a trauma because you get extra
it's good.
XP.
That's always fun. And this would be risky, right?
Yes, this would be risky. Beautiful,
Oh my God.
flawless. You
Yeah,
you got
614.
like a beautiful gymnast. You sprint across the thing, dodging whatever fucking projectiles are coming up. Maybe a seabird flies close by.
Out of my way.
Ski-bird.
You
Stop
dodge
the
it.
air by the neck. Killing it
Uh,
instantly.
And you go on, get on all fours. You get over to the top as you hear the other engine starting to give out from the stress again. But you pull that manual reset. The other engine sputters to life, and the engine is repaired. It's evened out. And downstairs, you are all kind of in various states of bad, and Retribution is starting to head towards you again, shuddering, dropping this like metal slag all over the ground. But then it stopped moving, like it just walked into a wall, and the air kind of freezes in place, static again, and that disembodied voice comes out, and it says, again, in like the exact same cadence, it said it to you, Loyal. It says, "Time's up." And with that, the frame collapses into itself and vanishes, like it was being pulled through a really tiny hole in space. And then the air is still. Very still.
Geist isn't even conscious to experience this because when he got like the hands ripped off of his mech, the concussion of having the cockpit kicked finally fucking knocked the last bit of fight he had out of him. Like he performed well beyond the limits of any reasonable human, but he fucking he passed the fuck out and probably has another brain injury for the pile, but he's done. Like the changeling just kind of collapses on its back, and like maybe like the rage system causes the limbs to keep twitching, but without a pilot, nothing's going on.
What does Loyal look like right now? You've officially traumatized out.
I feel like just all of his electronics are shut off at this point by whatever the fuck Retribution did to him. And he's like just floating in his exopod. All the lights are off. He's still breathing, but just like shallowly. He's just in there, knocked out.
Cozy.
And there's blood. There's blood in the oxygenated water that he's also breathing, so he's gonna have to deal with that in his lungs later.
Okay, not cozy.
Breathing blood gang. What up?
Hex. I asked Joseph, where do you go after you fix it? Do you go to the cockpit? Do you go to where your squad mates are?
Joseph hanging on.
I think Joseph would actually go to the cockpit to just make sure Worthy's good, because if it cut out, I want to make sure that he's still good to go. So I want to check on Worthy. I assume that they're doing good down there, because I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, I think once Retribution gets out, Worthy's voice comes through and says, "Pilots, are you there?"
It's just me up here. It doesn't sound like anyone else is responding.
Whatever. Did you fix it?
Yes. Are we stable now?
Fuck. Yeah, we're fucking stable. Thank you. Joseph, I owe you a drink, or a robot drink.
I will take you up on that, but I need to check on my squad mates right now.
Yeah, go check on them. I gotta I gotta patch up some electronics before I can even put this thing down.
Agreed. Good work, Worthy. And I'm gonna jog over to the hole and look down it.
Yeah.
Easy access.
Hex, you are the only one left standing in the cockpit.
Hex is hanging on.
Yeah, I guess you put yourself in.
And that whole time, Hex was fighting for his life.
Guys, this isn't funny anymore. Please just pull me up.
Yeah, I think now that the ship is stable, you can just pull yourself in. And you go in and you see, I imagine it's probably not like this, but I imagine Loyal's mech is in like the fetal position.
Oh my god.
And like Geist's mech is on its back. Its arms are like smoking and burning, just
The
not
hands are
moving
torn
at
off.
all. Yeah.
I'm reminded of this meme in the chat.
Well, Brian, you have to
Describe
say
the
what the meme
meme.
is.
Yeah,
Describe the
describe
meme.
it
For the
for the
viewers.
Everything's on fire, and a guy walks in.
Oh, it's the pizza guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's from Community.
Yeah, it's the pizza guy. But I mean, Hex functionally thinks Geist is fucking dead, so he runs over to fetal position robot. Says, "Hey, are you alive?"
Am I able to respond? Do I have some like autoresponder being like
I'm out of the office
Only.
right now, but if you need to reach me.
I imagine I'd have some type of AI in like my frame, my exopod, that it's like Sunlith is currently unconscious. Please immediately take to the nearest medical facility. I just keep saying that over and over again.
All right. Hex isn't a doctor, so what would he see if he went over to check on Geist?
The changeling, the cockpit is sealed, so you actually can't see inside. But the mech itself, like it's all dinged up. The front parts of both arms have been ripped off, and there's kind of just like exposed wires and twisted metal. It is very twisted. It's like the fists of his mech were twisted right off, but the center part is like all dinged up where it got booted, and it's just kind of like occasionally twitching as the rage system tries to predict combat that is not happening.
Ooh, that's cool. Like that
It's a,
That's cool.
twisted fucking psychopath.
But Hex thinks both his squad mates are dead, he guesses.
He's not
Where's the
in
robot?
water, so you can just like flip if you want to see if he's alive, you could open the cockpit, but you'd probably have to get out of your own frame to like
Yeah.
activate the manual eject. Now that it's
All right.
depowered, it's not long.
I mean, if everything's peaceful, Hex will hop out and do that.
yeah, I think Joseph eventually comes down. You all link up, talk a little bit. I mean, you all meaning Hex and Joseph.
Joseph jumps down from the hole and enters and kind of looks around and then sees Hex. I say, Hex.
Come help me out here. Hex is trying to pull the release on Geist's cockpit or whatever.
Of
to get him
course.
out.
And Joseph runs over and assists.
Yeah, it pops open and Geist is like lying there, and his hands, which are both robotic hands, are still like gripped so tightly to like the control yokes that like they've started to crack through. But like he's bleeding. He was in really fucking bad shape when you tried to stop him from climbing back into his cockpit, and now it's even worse. Like there's blood. He was bleeding the whole time, so there's now blood and like hydraulic fluid all over the interior of the cockpit. Like it's smeared all over the controls and everything. He's bleeding like out of every bit of exposed skin that he still has some sort of rupture on it. And it's a fucking mess in there. There's blood everywhere, and you don't even know where to take a pulse because he.
I was about to say that. I was going to try to take a pulse.
Hex gags a little.
He requires
This ain't office
medical
work, is it?
attention immediately.
Do we have a
Although-
doctor on board?
I'll tell Worthy to get us back as soon as possible.
There's
Is
a
Sunlith
first
okay?
aid bot somewhere.
What do we do?
Did you check on Sunlift?
X goes and runs back over to see if we can't. I mean, can we even? What would we do if we ejected you?
My
Is
like
there- is
exopod
there
would just kind of
contingencies?
pop
Okay.
out. But
Let's
you
do
just
that.
see, yeah, you like the hatch opens up and the like mechanism deposits him in front of you on the ground, and the exopod is floating. It's functioning. I assume it wasn't hurt. It was just like his physical body that got
Yep.
hurt. But he's unconscious. There's blood in the water. His melon like has damage to it. It's all kind of just like ripped up from these ephemeral clause, and the message is still just playing. Please bring to the nearest medical facility. Please bring.
Joseph is going to put a hand against the glass and he'll say, "Stay strong, Sunlift. You will swim again." And then I turn to Hex and say,
So sweet.
"Barely survived, but we are alive. We will fight again. Let's get back home, patch up these wounds, and we'll figure out what to do next. Okay?"
We're lucky to be standing.
I'm glad that you're alive too, Hex. And I put my arm around him and give him a little wink.
Aw, sweet.
How about a beer after this?
Hey, buddy.
Wait. I thought Joseph only has one eye. How does he wink?
He does, and he always winks with that one eye.
It blinks with the one eye. It's easy.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like to call it a wink. It sounds more cinematic.
Yeah.
It's good. It's great.
It's about the
I imagine
intent.
he closes one like side of his single eye.
Yeah.
Ew.
Like,
It's cute. It's great. It's adorable.
yeah, and I think Joseph is just going to tend to Geist as much as he can and tell Worthy, like, get us back. Two squad mates with major injuries. We must return now.
Yeah, I think Worthy gives you the affirmative and rushes you all back, and you make a rough landing on the airstrip, like closest to the medical hospital. I think Worthy like parks between two other aircraft because he understands the severity of the situation. And you are not immediately debriefed. Geist and Loyal are rushed away by facility doctors. It's like pulled off like a bunch of people and just the medical scrubs like grabbing you, like, yelling.
For me,
Do they need to get a what?
a veterinarian,
Oh.
an exotic species doctor. How does this
I
work?
get a dolphin doctor in here. Stat.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Grace knows dolphin physiology.
Yeah, she's great.
But like, I think you are like, they can't move your exopod, so I think they pop it open. Like
They have to like pump out my lungs and get me breathing air.
yeah, they
do
like
that.
pull your whole ass tube body out of the exopod onto a stretcher. And like one of them is like, do we gotta spray it? Do we gotta like spray him down with water or something? The other one's like, just get him to the fucking hospital, man.
That's racist.
That's racist. And they rush you over to a hospital. Geist, you are in and out of consciousness, mostly out. You have pushed well past your breaking point. At some point, you think Dr. Grace is there, and she is very upset. And you hear her say something like, "You can't do this to us again, Garrett. God damn it." She's doing like chest compressions on you, and you're like barely aware of it. You're like, I think you're pretty certain that this is it. But
He's ready to go. I feel like Geist is happy with his performance. Like Geist is aware of the fact that Retribution is presently like way above his weight class, and I guess it really depends on how conscious he even was at the time that he was taking those actions. But like in hindsight, if he was able to internalize everything that happened, he's like, yeah, I really got that motherfucker, didn't I? This would be a good time to die.
Accomplished. No teeth.
Eventually, the painkillers come through for you, and it's like a blur. It's a soft blur. You might think you're even dead, honestly. Kilo is there at one point, the director of the pilot division, and he's just like sitting at the bedside, just like looking at you, like grimacing. You think he tells a joke, but you will not remember it. Loyal, you also get a lot of attention in the hospital. Dr. Suri Grace, to her credit, she knows dolphin physiology. Although, you're more conscious than Geist was by a long shot. And at some point she's like, "I'm sorry, Loyal, I gotta look this up." And she like walks out of the room.
How
Thinks at her.
dolphin brain injury question.
Medicine in blowhole? Question mark. And I think you're also visited by some people, Loyal. You are visited by probably Gopher. Gopher visits you. Gopher likes you. You're actually friends with Gopher, and
Who is Gopher again? He's like the little guy who runs errands.
he's the runner. He's the runner.
Yeah.
Poor
Yeah,
Gopher.
Because we're both outcasts on this godforsaken planet.
He comes into your hospital room and you're like, "Hey, you, how are you?"
Wow, your head looks different.
Do they have I can't really talk to people without my exopod.
That's
So
true.
if I'm just
That's true.
on a stretcher, I'm just like looking around, unable to speak to anyone. Maybe I like do a little couple whistles at him, but no one understands me.
That must be very strange for you.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, they just kind of talk at you, and they're like, they're there, it's going to be okay. And your control also visits you, Miss Westedge, because you're also very good friends with her. And she says, don't worry about the debriefing, Loyal. We'll handle it. Just you focus on getting better, you and Geist. And, she kind of looks at you, and she looks very upset, very sad.
He just makes a sad little affirmative whistle at her. Dolphins, luckily, they have very fast healing abilities. They can like regrow their skin at a pretty quick rate, so he won't be out of commission for too long.
That's good.
But he's upset about not being able to talk.
And for the rest of you, Hex and Joseph, Nyla does debrief you, and she looks very concerned. She says, Worthy gave me the rundown, so just, I'll pull the recordings from whatever is left and just get some rest. Okay?
The plant was attacked by a chemical agent. I have video recording. I'll upload it to you so you can see what we can do.
Thank you. Just, and she kind of trails off and looks at the conference room down across the city with a grimace on her face.
I'm going to interrupt her again and hold up the flash drive. I also was able to get this from the facility.
She rubs a hand over her face and says, fuck, I forgot. I forgot about that. I just leave it on the table. I'll look at it later.
And when you put it in, plug it into a dummy hard drive first before you upload any data to the main mainframe. Okay?
I'm not a rookie.
Joseph gives her a wink.
Do any of you visit Geist or Sunleth in the hospital?
Yeah, I think Joseph is going to visit both of them a lot. I think he's going to be by their hospital beds quite frequently. I think he wasn't expecting to do this. I think the near death of both of the squad mates remind him of a squad mate he lost previously. He finds emotions to be a weakness, but right now he's afflicted with them, and he can't help. He can't help but look over the two fallen comrades.
Yeah.
Does
Hex also
Joseph...
visits.
We talked about this briefly, Adam, about Joseph and what he remembers from when he was just an AI for a pilot.
Yeah.
Does Joseph realize that it was the same person? Retribution is who killed your previous pilot.
I don't think he did, because I feel like everything from that, kind of as we talked about before, feels like his past life feels like a dream almost. So it's he remembers bits and pieces. So he just remembers the main thing is having a good relationship, and then having that person be killed by something outside of his forces that he couldn't control.
Yeah.
And now he's reminded by this because he was distracted with fixing up the ship that two of his squad mates almost died. So he remembers that and visits them every day.
Cinema.
Yeah.
Sitting there. Rain hitting the window.
Visits weekly and he'll bring flowers, but otherwise it's just pretty standard business. I mean, he feels we signed up for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joseph would even tell Hex, I'll stay here for the both of us. You got work to do.
Yeah. Hex is more, he's concerned, but he knows this isn't his place to be there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joseph brings up the idea of maybe getting a drink at the bar again.
Please, my stress level is too high.
Yeah.
Loyal, you get discharged much quicker because, your main, the main thing that knocked you out of commission is that you've been traumatized. Your brain, something's changed within you. And you get to choose one of those things under scars. To choose is your scar, your trauma.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
And you don't need to decide
choose that now? Okay.
Yeah, unless you are 100% certain of what you want, we can do that now, but we should just revisit it next. It's not downtime, but the first mission after that to see how you've changed.
I have an idea, but I have to think about it a bit.
Okay. And Geist, it takes a lot longer to heal.
Yeah.
I'm thinking multiple weeks at least.
Yep.
So after that, a number of things happen. No one really tells you it explicitly, but you do get the sense that you got a very good deal on the data you stole.
Yes.
For some, for the time being, until I say otherwise. You guys are going to be able to take 3 downtime actions instead of 2.
Ooh.
Because of this increased budget. Again, this is temporary, especially because you failed your primary objective. I mean, your secondary objective, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Hex, Nyla lets it slip to you that some footage of the operation got released to the press, and it does not help the relationship between the Peacekeepers and the Council, and you, the Dusklights. And you're going to lose your relationship with the Council. It's going to go down by 1, so you're now at a -1 with them, which means they dislike you, which is going to make it harder for the Peacekeepers to get funding from them for jobs. And maybe even worse for you, Hex, is that Nyla specifically orders you to go to the corporate council and humble yourself in front of Mr. Blue.
Oh no!
Rest in peace.
This is the worst.
This is where he dies.
No,
You gotta go eat crow.
We won't.
Man.
I think we'll do that
this vignett's
in.
gonna kill me.
Yeah, we're gonna do that in a vignette. But just so you know, that's coming up.
Hex is pissed. He gains stress.
No, don't do that to yourself.
That's the last fucking straw. And that's where we're gonna stop for today. And next time we'll do downtime. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.